more that we can join together with technology, even though life continues to be a little bit challenging. But let's get started. And for those of you who may be joining us for the very first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Cheryl Cortese. I'm a National Marketing Director now for almost 34 years with the Juice Plus Company, and still amazed that this should be my life. I background in education, kindergarten, child development. I came across this at a very difficult time in life, a lot of difficult changes, and it was going to be additional income, but it just turned out to be something that I fell in love with, and it's been a love affair with the world now for the past 34 years and continues to be. So it's a joy and a pleasure, and sometimes a challenge, but always a wonderful experience. So just to tell you a little bit about company history, so you'll know who you are if it's again your first time to join with us. The Juice Plus Company is actually in its 51st year. The man that started our company so many years ago is a very young man. Jay Martin is still the man who runs it today. And we've seen unparalleled success over all these years. Entering the field in marketing was something that I'm sure you're all familiar with today. We were the company that introduced smoke detectors for the home. And obviously that laid the groundwork for phenomenal success. Diversifying over the years, we went into the field of water filtration, air filtration in the early 80s, and continuing to diversify. Almost 30 years ago now, we entered the field of health technology with Juice Plus and the Juice Plus family of products. And it's just been, I think, the find of both last century and this century, not only for our own health and well-being, but for the people we love and those we come across on a daily basis. So really our experience is one that really enhances good health. We stretch out and put our arms around people as we invite them to join us in this mission. So we definitely are in team and team development and challenges of really reaching out to reach the world with something that is as powerful as fruits, vegetables, berries, and omegas that are foundational for health. We also, I feel, are and continue to grow into an amazing community of people that are like-minded, people that not only care for others, but really want to help people do well, see success, be involved in things that are very rewarding. As you stretch out and help others, you not only create with our company a business that can create financial security, but certainly emotional revenue as well. Just the happiness that goes along with making a difference in the world. So we have been gathering now for the Monday night call, as we've referred to it, because that's what it is for so many years. Actually, we're, I think, into our 32nd year, maybe 33rd. Can get lost in there along the way, but we've not missed a Monday night in all this time. And certainly going from a rotary dial phone that long ago to here we are on Zoom, seeing each other face to face across the world. But if we look at it, how blessed we are that we've had such great people come to us to share their ideas, their information, their inspiration, and we gather and glean a lot always. Tonight, we thought we would do something a little different. If you saw our flyer for this, it said NMDS Unplugged. And so basically what we're going to do is just share with you maybe some of the tips that we feel like in all this time and working together we've learned. Maybe some of the things too that have been a bit of a challenge. You grow up into leadership and we all do it the same way. We start in the same place with a partner application, and we grow up and we grow up together, and we really, there's the joy of the journey and the challenge of the journey at the same time. So I think everyone on this line that's going to share with you tonight is not only proud and happy of where they are and their achievement, but they also realize that it's not always blue skies and rainbows. Sometimes there's a challenge or two. And yet, really the consistency of effort brings about, the return that's rewarding for all involved. So tonight, I'm going to turn this over, first of all, to one of our national marketing directors. She's an IMD, Courtney Shaw, and she's going to be the interviewer of the teams that are going to share with you tonight. So Courtney.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about tonight, you guys. This is going to be so fun. So if you've never been on one of our calls before, welcome. We're glad you're here. And what a special night this is going to be, because I have the distinct honor of getting to ask some raw and real questions with some of the top leaders in this company. And it just makes me excited, you guys. Why? Because when I started this business, I had no idea what it was about, how to do it. I had no idea. But what I learned was it was ordinary people stepping out of their comfort zones and doing extraordinary things, stepping out of fear and into faith and doing what the system told us to do. And it is amazing, because what happens? We inspire healthy living around the world. Lives get changed, and we do good things, right? It feels good to do good in the world. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with our very first question. Now, all of you that are going to be speaking tonight, I'm going to ask you to share two things outside of your question. Number one, they have no idea I'm going to say this, you guys. Number one, where you are from and how many years you've been in this business. Because at the end of tonight, I want to show you how many years of experience you have just learned. It is the coolest thing ever. The longevity of this business makes me so excited. I've been with the company for 13 years. I live in North Carolina. I'm a mom of 5, and I can't imagine doing anything else other than this. It's the most exciting thing in the whole world. Okay, so we're going to start off with Brian Marsh. My girls, can you bring him up? No, we got Cheryl on. Are we good? Can we, hold on, hang on a second. I'm going to, Beth, are we good?
Someone stopped my video.
There you, oh no, you don't have to stop your video. Why would you stop your video? You're there. Come on, show that face. There it is.
What's up, North America? Hey, Courtney, how are you?
Hey, Brian. All right, Brian, where are you from?
All right, I'm from the Gold Coast in Australia. That's why I have a funny accent, and I've been with this company now for 5.5 years. It's absolutely changed my life. So
amazing, amazing. So we're so honored that you're here, because we know you're a super busy person. So let's get right to it. The question I have for you tonight: if you could do one thing for your business every single day, what would you do?
It would be talk about the amazing income opportunity attached to Juice Plus. Now, I understand that most people absolutely want to talk more about Juice Plus than they want to talk about the income, and I absolutely understand that. But if you've got goals that require money, like time choices or financial choices, which I had and still do, I always drop in the amazing income opportunity attached to Juice Plus. And how do you do that, or why do you do that? Because there is a lot of money attached to our income opportunity, and we do that by building a sales team who then have the opportunity to build a sales team under them. And to put that into context, if I had a camera crew, and that camera crew were in my parents' house as I was growing up, or even in my friends' houses right now, and they were recording the topic of conversation between mum and dad, I would bet that there are more people talking about things financially, or finance or money can do for them, than they are talking about getting healthy. And so when I talk about an amazing income opportunity attached to what the real hero is, Juice Plus, I feel like there are more people interested in what we've got to do. So that's what I would do every day in this business, and I still do it every day. Talk about the amazing income opportunity attached to it.
I love that, because a lot of people are afraid to talk about money, right? And it's okay. Listen, here's the deal. what I love is, and Brian, would you agree with me? The more money we make, it means the more lives have been changed. And we're not a money group of people. But bottom line is, it's a business. If you want it to be a business, if it's a habit, a hobby, or a business, it's totally up to you, right? So when we make it a business, it can be anything we want to be. And you inspire me all the way from Australia. Thank you for being on tonight. You're awesome. Awesome. All right, Brian, I know you've got busy things to do. All right, you guys. So we're going to go on to Tammy. Tammy Lamison, are you there, my friend?
I am
hang
here.
on. Hold on. We're going to, we got Brian spotlighted right next to you. So we're going to, there we go, Brian. There you go. All right. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, girls, we got double spotlights here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and answer. Go ahead and get to the questions here. Where are you from, Tammy? Where are you at?
I am from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I don't sound like Brian. I have a Southern accent.
Southern. It's all good. So how many years in the business, babe?
19 and a half years.
No, I love all the half years because we count every day. Every day is magical, right? Okay, so your question, what are the best tips for growing a business while being a wife and a mom? A wife and a mom at the same time and growing a business. That means, Tammy, you've got it all. Share with us how you have it all.
So my kids were 7, 4, and 1 when I started the business. And I have to say, I learned this the hard way. You know, like Brian said, you share the business. It's so fun. And there is something to be said about that helper's high. And it is so true. And you want to do this business 24/7. So because of that, I found my family. Oh, you're doing that again? And you know what? It was really my youngest son. I picked him up from middle school one day and I was on the phone doing a customer care call. I got in the car and he said to me, "You're on the phone again." So I learned some top tips and I'm here to share them with you because it's then when I put these into practice, that's when my business took off. And so I've got the 5 top tips that I practice and share with my team. Number 1, set clear expectations with your family and with your team. You're going for a goal. You've got to set that clear expectation with your family. You know, I've got one team member that Disney World is her goal, and her girls know when she does customer care calls, it's for their Disney trip. So set that clear expectation. Number 2, set clear business hours, set clear family hours, and protect that time. Do that when you set those hours. Number 3, be where you are. Do not have dinner with your husband or with your friends or with your family and be like this the whole time. Okay, be where you are. Be present where you are. Number 3. Number 4, develop strong, independent leaders. Like Brian said, you want to share this business, share that and develop strong, independent leaders. And number 5, when you say yes, make sure it is your best yes. Don't give a yes and then complain about it later. Make sure it's your best yes, something that you want to do and something that's going to be, especially if it's for your business, it's going to be for income producing activity. Make sure it is your best yes. So under 3 minutes, Courtney, I did it.
This is fast. I hope y'all are taking notes. These are great ones, you guys, because the bottom line is that we've got to manage the expectations of the people that we love so much around us so that it's teamwork. We're doing it together, right? And I love that, Tammy, so much. Being a mom of 5 and growing up this business with my children, exact same things. Set those clear expectations for your business with your family hours, your business hours. Let your family know what you're going for, what you're doing, include them in it. Be where you are, be present in everything. Develop those independent leaders. That gives you that time freedom Brian talked about. And then say yes, but make sure it's your best yes, right? I love that. Awesome. Thanks, my sweet friend. Amazing, amazing. All right, you guys, we're going to move right on to Rachel Smart. Rachel. We've got people that are unspotlighting and spotlighting. So hang on, Tammy, just keep smiling. So sweet. We've got them coming. Here, okay, there's Rachel. Awesome. All right, Rachel, where are you in from, my friend?
Hey, I'm from Georgia, so a little Southern accent. I can turn it on if you want.
I love that. How many years in the business?
20 years. I stayed in the game.
Wow.
Never stopped.
Amazing. I love that longevity. You guys seeing this? All right. So question for you. How do you overcome the valleys of this business? There's valleys in life, right? There's valleys in everything that we do, but the valleys just make the peaks just that much sweeter. So tell us how you overcome that.
Well, I'm picking three things, but I want you to know it's not fun, but necessary to grow. As we know in anything, it could be a very big springboard for success. So the first thing is gratitude. It always starts with the basics of everything to shift the attitude. We're all going to struggle. And I struggled like everyone else. And I learned some things. And one of them was to be grateful that Juice Plus in the business was a gift. I put the value on it as a gift. And so when I was aware that my voice, you're going to have little chatters. And when you begin to say, I have to get on a call, or I have to, do something, you catch yourself and you say, I get to give hope to others. I get to be a leader, to inspire others, and bring smiles to help people secure dreams. So you have to shift those things to bring the gratitude to the story. And then I was thinking back on my journey when I first started my business. I had one in the top of the customers in the entire company one month. And I was coming from a place of love and gratitude. And the next month I said, I'm going to go get people. And you know what? I got 0 people the next month because I was coming from my head, not my heart. So you have to be grateful and come from your heart, and then to really understand that negative mind chatter. The next thing is you have to get into action and get into messy action. Sometimes we don't know what to do. We just know we do some things clunky, and you don't try to be perfect, but you try to have good value, give value. And at the beginning, I tried to be perfect and I flopped. It was not duplicatable. So I learned that imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. And people want relatability. So I learned that the hard way. And one of the things I learned too is when I start my day, I don't always feel like doing the business, but I know when I get on a little routine where I listen to one video before I start my day, and I get into the feeling. And then when I get into action, because I have more energy behind the energy, people buy that. They get excited because I'm excited, and I have to get myself excited. So I have to start with listening to something. And that helps me not be in that valley or that place of just not feeling like it. And the last thing is to stay plugged in. Tonight, you guys are all showed up for a call, and we're on it to get fueled up. We have to ignite that passion. It dwindles. It always just empties out. There's like a hole in the bucket. You have to be able to fill yourself up, because people buy your energy, and you can't fill up others until you fill your own. And those are some of my best tips of how to get out of the struggle, the valleys, and to rise strong with consistency.
Beautiful. And you exude that attitude of gratitude. You really do. It comes out, it seeps out of you and every pore in you. But I love doing it messy, right? Even though it's hard, even though we're not really sure what we're going to do, and we might fall down, it's okay, right? We fall forward, right? We fall forward in everything that we do. So beautiful. Stay plugged in. These types of calls right here are the best ones ever, to just stay connected. We stay connected to the vine, because so we're vine ripened people, just like our fruits and veggies. All right. Thanks so much, Rachel. Love you, girl. Appreciate you. Okay. We've got Lauren Lahab up next. Lauren, there she is. All right. Excellent. Okay, Lauren, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm just gonna,
There we go.
There we go. Got you, girl. Okay. Where are you right now?
Wait. Hang on, you didn't ask me where I was from, because I get to be
say, where are you right now, and where are you from?
I went to Georgia, and I think I'm from Australia, and I'm confused because I'm in Costa Rica. So there you go. That's a little. Thank you for putting me in this order. So there you go.
I love that. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, how many years in the business, babe?
14 and a half.
Wow.
No. I'm sorry, not 14 and a half. 13 and almost 14 in October. So. October.
Okay. Oh, so you're really like 13 3/4. Okay, I'm gonna put 0.75. All right, awesome. Okay, girl, get ready for this question. How do you stay focused during the summer months? People are vacationing, they're taking time off. How do you stay focused?
Well, it's so funny because I did a little research on this, and I wanted to read this from American Express. And American Express said that there is a 20% decline in workplace productivity during the summer months, that there is a 19% decrease in attendance for meetings and just people just showing up. And, but not here. Look at us. We're showing up full force here. So I'm really proud of everybody, because this is one of our big events that we've done. So pretty excited about that. And that, are you ready for this? I bet you guys are ready for this, that there is a 200% increase in shopping during work hours during the summer. So I thought that was a couple interesting things, and I think here's a couple things. one of the best things I learned was when Jeff and Cheryl gave me a CD, which was Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. And what he talked about in that CD was really, but that there's seasons, and that there are planting seasons, and then and then there's a sowing season. I kind of look at summer specifically as kind of that planting season and planting the seeds with people. So what things that you can do are one, I would say keep a schedule. Keep your schedule, because people need to know. They need certainty to know. I love what she said about have those business hours, have your family hours. That's super important. So keep that consistency going so that people know that the store is open, if you would. The other thing is create focus by having clearly defined projects, because people need to know where to focus. Then that gives clarity and that gives certainty, and then they can know what the goals are that they're going for. The other thing is you want to be a model, for your team. So your team is looking for you to create those positive examples. So letting them know about events that you're doing, letting them know about, events that you're putting on, events that you're attending. The other thing I would say is schedule your vacation in advance. If you're going to do a vacation, schedule in advance so everybody's very clear. And also that you want to be intentional with everything that you do. So I look at this time as the planting season, because I know that I'm going to be sowing in the fall. And so I thought that I'd just share some of those tips for you.
I love that. Letting people know that you're still open for business in the summertime. That is huge, being consistent and letting people know, be clear with all of that. Thank you so much, Lauren. Love you to pieces, my friend, all the way from Costa Rica. All right, you guys are moving fast and furious here so we can get through all these amazing speakers. So we've got the beautiful Alicia. Oh, look at that sweet smile. Oh my gosh, girl. Okay, tell me where you're tuning in from. Where are you now?
I am tuning in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Look at you, girl. I love that. So we got Lauren lives in Vegas. I love that. So we've got a little consistency going here.
Yeah.
Minus Australia. I love a little spontaneity there. Okay. So tell me, how many years in the business?
3.5 years.
Oh my gosh. And aren't these people inspiring? It's I can't even get enough. I want more. I want to learn more. But I'll tell you what, fresh perspective from people coming up in the business just like you. And let me tell you something, you're a leader all in your own right. So girl, I'm telling you, you're going to inspire us all. Ready? Here's your question for tonight. What was your biggest challenge with adding new partners to Inspire Healthy Living, right? And how did you overcome it? Like, what did you do to kind of overcome that challenge?
Okay. Well,
Right.
the biggest challenge that I have had with adding team is adding team that is going to stick with the business and run with it. Sometimes, as you may be aware, you may have done it in the past too, where you're looking for yourself because you know what you're doing in the business. So you're like, I want to get someone like myself that's going to run with business. And you may get some people that will do that, and then you will get some folks that may not, or they come in strong and you're thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to make me NMD. And then things happen. And in my business, even in my short tenure of 3 years, there have been things that has happened. And the whole bottom fell out of my business where I had to really do team all over again. So that was my biggest challenge. But I stuck with it. I overcame it by just remaining positive and motivated and motivating the team that I had and keeping everybody going. And that has been what I've been doing practically, but I have to give you the 5 steps that you really, really, really have to do in order to gain and maintain team. The first step is be authentic. The second step is be authentic. The third step is be authentic. I learned that. I had to learn that. And it wasn't until I was authentic and just like, not take myself so seriously that it started coming. And you have to be giving and you have to be humble. if you do all those things, you will gain team. People will really flock to you and they will see that you are authentic. It's not until you really drop everything and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to just be authentic and people will come. And that has been happening. And I have been so gracious and grateful because I have a wonderful team, an awesome, awesome team. So I don't have as many problems as I did in the past, or not too much to overcome, but I overcame it. I remain positive and motivating and motivated and reading and all that kind of good stuff. And my team is wonderful.
I love that. You know what I heard from that? You are you, and that is your superpower. Every single person on here, you or Alicia, and every single person listen, you are you, and that's your superpower. Being authentic is what it's all out. Young girl, we can't be anybody else but ourselves. You know, you don't want to be somebody else, that's taken, right? You just keep shining, my sweet friend. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's move it on. Karen Johnson. Karen Johnson, there she is. The beautiful Karen. Karen, where are you calling in from?
I am in Columbus, Ohio.
Awesome. How many years in the business, love?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's 11.
11. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Okay. So let's get to your question. You ready?
Yeah.
What is your best tip for adding new teams? So Alicia went over some troubles. Now we're going to talk about the best tip for how do you attract new team? How are you doing that?
Absolutely. So I actually read something the other day that aligns so perfectly with this. And, you know, you can't find or see what you're not looking for. So if you're not constantly thinking about new team or new partners, however you want to envision it, you just won't see it. And I think if that's just a mindset thing, right? So I just thought that was a great place to start, because ultimately at the end of the day, we don't want to prejudge. You know, when I am out and about in life and in my world, you know, even though I'm a mom of 3 and have really built this business to be my primary income, I have to constantly be thinking about who's next, who might potentially be that this might be a fit for. So I have learned, and I've gotten stronger at that, not to prejudge, because you just never know why somebody would want to come into this. So couple of things that I've always done from the very beginning. I have had amazing mentors that have really kept this simple for me, but truly I learned to profile people. You know, who do I like, love, or admire? Who's entrepreneurial? Who would I love to work with? Who's a go-getter? You know, all of those trigger words that so many of us have probably learned along the way, or if you're brand new, that might be a great place for you to start thinking about who you would love to be working with. Something that really stood out to me years ago was, you know, if there were, you know, if I could create a board of directors, who would those 5 to 10 people be? And so that's what I'm constantly thinking about. And the longer you're in this business, the more you highlight that, the more you will continuously kind of keep your eyes open to, you know, attracting those people into your world. So I do love to profile people. Next is obviously intertwining product and business. Don't talk about one without the other. I've learned that lesson the hard way many times. I've reached out to my mentors and said, I really feel like I missed an opportunity here. So just always intertwining both of those. And that obviously comes from being anchored really strongly with your product and your business story to be able to fuse the two of them. That's what really creates simplicity. I never would have been able to do this business if it wasn't laid out for me in a simple way. And the biggest way that I built my frontline and continue to teach my team to build frontline is the 3-way call. I've learned to love it. I didn't know what the heck it was in the beginning, you guys, but my mentor said, listen, if you can profile somebody that you would love to work with, we can bring that story to that person. And that still is the number one way that I built my frontline, and continuously helped my team do that. So those are my simple steps tonight to keep continuously thinking about building your front line and helping your team do the same.
I love that. And you know, what I heard with this is be intentional. And this is I'm just like totally capping it here. So be intentional, know who you're looking for. And that was a huge game changer for me in my business. So know who you're looking for and follow that system. You know, product and business go together, and 3-way calls just bring in another person to validate everything that you said and who you are as a person as well. So it's a beautiful combination. Thank you so much. You're super successful, as are all of these leaders. Thank you so much, Karen. Love you, miss you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, we're next. person. We're up to Chris Drobes here, the beautiful Chris Drobes. There she is. Okay, Chris, tell me, where are you tuning in from here?
I am from beautiful sunny South Florida, and I've been in this business. October will be 21 years. So I am what? 20.85 right here.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got your question for you tonight. And I know that I'm going to throw your question and then I'm going to put a little twist on it. So what, and Chris is, I can't wait for you to hear her. So get your pen and paper out. So ready. So what are the 3 most important things you do to build your business? And I'm just going to say this, Chris, you are amazing at a goal timeline and helping your team to set a goal and to achieve that goal. I'm a goal person, so this really like sets my tummy on fire. I love this stuff. Will you share the combination of those, please?
I sure will. Okay, first of all, like most everybody, when I started, I was very uncertain. I had no idea what I was doing, how it would work, who would even listen to me. But I wanted to own my own life. I wanted a large income to support my family and my dreams. And I got over myself real quickly. And I decided to become a good student of the process. And it worked. And like Brian said, I never talked to anybody about Juice Plus without first letting them know how proud I am about being a business owner. So to this day, what I'm going to share, it's the same success formula. Nothing much has really changed, even with the rapid changes in technology and this digital age within which we live. People are people, and the same principles apply today that did back then. So number 1 is the three-way call. I put everybody in front of my sponsor, Cheryl Cortese. I learned from day 1 that her time would go to those that put her in front of people, to third party validate what you were doing. So I booked as much of her time as possible, and I filled every single time slot, no matter what. If somebody canceled, I found somebody else. That was it. And I utilize that type of rapport building, because that's what a three-way call is, by utilizing all types of three-way calls: attraction and connection calls, gold mining calls, which is customer care, coaching and launching, and make sure your team gets a good launch. It's a solid key. It's key to, it can't be overlooked. So that's the number 1 tool to build a big business. Second is connecting the dots, remaining close to your team, making sure that team members are being supported. Look down into your business, into your organization, and see who's doing your business. And if their sponsor is not, then dive for that strength, pick up the ball and bring that strength close to you, but keep that team connected. And the third is building for and attending events. When I'd be in a room, one of my top leaders, Karen Smith, we'd sit in the back of the room and say, well, how many people are in the room? The only thing that matters is how many of your people were in that room. And that's never changed. So the add-on, why is it so important to establish some type of a timeline or a goal? Well, simply because you can't hit a target you can't see. You know, if you don't know where you're going and when, you most likely won't get very far at all. And that applies to most things in life, right? Not just moving through the Juice Plus marketing plan and promotional levels. Visualization is very powerful, and it's a vital factor. 80% of all people learn and process information and material through visualization. So it's important to get a little bit uncomfortable and stretch yourself beyond where you are, or maybe even beyond where you want to be. And that magical things happen. And a quick illustration I would offer, Courtney, is I found a very curious thing in my 21 years. Say your initial goal is to reach sales coordinator. Okay, you get there, and in whatever amount of time, and down the road, you wonder, why am I not at QSSC, SSC, or even QNMD? Well, one of the primary reasons, if we do not give our subconscious mind permission to move beyond that sales coordinator position, you got what you asked for, right? You got sales coordinator, but you never expected more. So if you give yourself permission to succeed, always set that next goal timeline or any type of goal beyond where you are, and it will serve you well.
I love that, Chris. So many golden nuggets of wisdom in all of that. So really being a good student in the business is something that I've really learned from you. And connect that three-way connection call, I know for me was very nerve-wracking. So if you're hearing this for the first time going, what? I remember being on a phone call going, I would sit with somebody with a cup of coffee, no problem, not think twice about it. So when I would get on a three-way connection call, I'd have a cup of coffee in my hand. And I'm like, I love sitting with my friends with a cup of coffee. Because it made me feel good. But it is part of what we do with that connection. And it's a beautiful part of it. And staying connected with your team. And then, of course, building and attending for events. That is the best because it's community. And that is where we shine. And without a goal, we're not going anywhere. So giving ourselves permission to be in business is amazing. And thank you for believing in me before I believed in me. All right. Thanks so much, Chris. Okay, we're on to Cynthia Gompers. Cynthia, will you turn your camera on? We'd love to see your lovely face. Yes, there she is. All right, Cynthia, where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Newburyport, Massachusetts, right on the seacoast.
Amazing.
And,
how many years? How many years?
Oh my goodness gracious. Courtney, it's been 31 and a half years. Can you?
You're a go-getter being that you're just 32.
I'm a sage, I guess.
I love it. Okay, so here is your question. All right, so how do you have the patience in what we call the recruiting or the bringing on new partners process, and attracting new team into our business? How do you have patience in that? Because not everybody's going to say yes, right? So tell us your secrets.
Well, everyone write this down. Patience can make you rich.
Nice.
Got that? Patience can make you rich. And how do you have patience in the recruiting process? It all starts again with that word gratitude, and be grateful for the customers you have, be grateful for the team partners you have. And it takes patience in your persistence, and it takes persistence with your patience. So persistence, really, if you think about it, is patience in action. Persistence is patience in action. And if we all think about it, it takes time to go to school, takes time to develop and to grow, takes time to build a life. It takes time to date your future spouse. It didn't happen with the first date. Okay, we've got to remember that. It takes time to build those relationships and time to recruit. Make time work for you with patience. And think about the timing for other people. We cannot control timing as much as we'd like to. We cannot control the decision-making process of others. So we can't be frustrated about what we have no control over, but we focus on what we can control. And I think the ultimate challenge for each and every one of us is to be patient with ourselves first, and then turn around and be patient with others. So the worst enemy, if we really think about it, of our dreams, the worst enemy of our goals is frustration and giving up too soon, giving up on our whys, giving up on our dreams. So it's keeping our eyes open, our ears open, our heart open, always looking for those opportunities to meet people, being prepared for success at every opportune moment. I call that be dressed for success. And it's not what you're wearing necessarily. I always have a couple brochures in my pocketbook. So I'm always prepared for success wherever I happen to be. And that really empowers me. Avoiding that emotional roller coaster that can disrupt our focus. In the beginning, I had these huge waves of the highs and then the lows, and now it's just kind of a ripple. It's no longer highs and lows, and not allowing those disappointments and the impatience to really discourage us and allow us to give up, and taking setbacks in stride. And thank you, Brian Marsh, for The Obstacle is the Way. I love this book because realizing that setbacks can be our biggest blessing in the long term. And Karen Johnson talked about designing your team, and
it's designing and redesigning your team consistently every single month. I'm doing a new form. So I'm keeping that pool full. So I don't have time to be impatient. And I'll leave you with this thought that it was years ago before we moved to our dream Juice Plus house here in Newburyport that I literally had wallpapered one wall of my office with the Designing the Dream Team forms. And when I took down that wall to move, I noticed that everyone on that form was highlighted in over the course of many years. But what I realized is that some folks, like me, saw the business opportunity and the products simultaneously and said, yes, it was a no-brainer. Some people took days, some took weeks, some took months. A frontline QNMD took a year. And one who is a classmate from kindergarten all the way through high school, can you imagine she said no to me for 3 years? And she's a presidential plus national marketing director with 25 national marketing directors on her team. What if I had not been persistent in my patience? So I'll be a J. Martin for just a second. So allow me to, because you'll remember this story. I want you all to think back in your life of the one time when there was one person that stuck out in your mind that had patience with you, that believed in you, that said, you can do this. And for me, it was summering at my parents' cottage at Silver Lake in Michigan. And everyone, all my friends that were on that lake, and there were many from our school, they could all water ski except me. And so Harvey Vander Ark next door felt bad for me. He believed in me. And he said, okay, Cynthia, you're going to get up. Now I'm a teenager, mind you. They've been water skiing since grade school. He had me get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning that summer. Now try and get a teenager up at that time. And he's had that old Chris Craft, mahogany boat. And he said, we're going to start you off and you're going to get up on those two skis and I'm going to raise my hand and that's gutting the motor. All summer, I tried. I could never get up. But Harvey Vander Ark never gave up on me. And at the end of the summer, he said, we're just going to have a little twist in a mindset. And he said, you're going to stand up and you're going to have one foot in one ski called the slalom. And when I gun that motor, raise my hand, you're going to hop up on that one ski. And I did it on the first try.
Crazy.
And the silly thing is, when I fell, I'd have to come back to the cottage and start up again from land. And so at the end of that summer, I could ski outside the wake, inside the wake. And the next year I was in the Lowell Showboat at the top of the pyramid. And that was the Harvey Vander Ark story. So you be the Harvey Vander Ark for yourself and for other people.
Cynthia, thank you so much. That's so inspiring, because I'll tell you, if it weren't for the persistence and the patience of those who introduced the business to me, I wouldn't be here. And I can say that for a lot of people. And there is such a lesson in all of that gratitude for what you've got. When you're grateful for what you've got and what you've been given, more will be given to you, right? And that truly, I just have to highlight that really quick, Cynthia, because isn't that the heart of our company? That is our companies, the company with a heart. That's how we live, with that attitude of gratitude and with having patience that when the time is right, they will shine. They'll say yes, and they'll go and grow. And it's an amazing thing. Thank you so much. I just adore your wisdom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, you guys, we're going to keep moving. We're going on to Beth Myers. Beth, are you there? There she is. All right, my sweet friend, where are you tuning in from?
I am in Connecticut.
All right. Up in beautiful Connecticut. How many years, love?
August 4th, I'll be 17 years.
Oh, wow. Are you guys adding this up? I am. Don't worry. I got you. All right, girl. All right. I got a good question for you. Ready?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Did you have any breakthroughs or ahas or, realizations, maybe mindset shifts mindset shifts, don't say that too fast, that have helped you move your business forward? You know, any defining moments maybe that you can share that have helped you gain momentum to keep moving forward with your business?
Yes, and there have been a lot of little ones along the way, but there were two huge ones. One happened in 2013, and I had been saying, you know, I'm gonna be a national marketing director, and then I would go to events. And so I was at a company conference, and the main stage speaker was amazing. And she said at the very end, she said, so remember how you feel right now. Remember what's inside of you, and the goals you have and the vision you have and everything that you see and feel. Well, when you get home on Monday morning, how are you going to hold on to that? When life steps in, how are you going to hold on to how you feel right now? And for me, it must have been timing, because her words fell on my ears at exactly the right time. And as life would have it, not luck, but life, I came home at midnight on that Sunday night with my daughter with me. And I had picked my dogs up from my brother's on the way home, and we had had an ice storm. My house ended up filling with smoke. This is all in 24 hours of being home. Monday morning, my dad called and was having surgery. Tuesday morning, my mom called, she was having surgery. And I just kept playing this speaker's words over and over in my head. Don't let them take this away from you. And I did all the family things that I had to do, and I made time for my business, and I reached national marketing director 6 months later. And that was pivotal for me. And I still play her words over. That was in 2013. And I haven't had a moment like that, a real defining moment, until the other day, which is interesting that we're doing this event, but nothing is chance. It's the way it's supposed to be. And I hope something that somebody hears tonight does for you what these two events did for me. And so I heard a speaker the other day, and she was talking about the passing of her grandmother, and the family was all sitting around the bed, and her granddaughter was crying. The woman who was passing away, her granddaughter was crying, and she grabbed her granddaughter's hand and she said, "Oh, baby girl, don't cry for me. I've lived a full life. I've played full out. I've done everything that I could possibly ever want to do in this life. I've given more than I ever thought I'd be able to. And I've shown up every day." And I was bawling my eyes out. And I just thought, you know what? I have been playing way too small. And at the end, everything I do in this world is for my daughter. And at the end of this life, I want to be able to look that little girl in her eyeballs and be able to hold her hand and tell her not to cry, because I've lived a full life. And I can't live a full life if I'm not playing full out, because I don't serve anybody. I don't serve myself. I don't serve my daughter. I don't serve any of you, and I don't serve this world. And so I hope you all choose to really play full out and take something with you from tonight and put it into action, whatever that is for you. Don't let this just be an event that feels good that you showed up for, and then tomorrow comes and, you know, the dog pees on the carpet and the baby throws up and something else happens, and this all just goes by the wayside. So be able to look someone in the eye and tell them not to cry for you, because you played full out and it was a life well lived.
I didn't think I was going to cry tonight. Thank you, Beth. Amazing, because that is something that so many people don't even realize that they're doing is they're not playing full out. They're not fully living out the life that they have been given. And this life is a gift. Each life is a gift. And I think a lot of us have discovered that over the last year and a few months, right? How precious life is. So thank you for that reminder, and that it's okay to play full out. That's what we're here for. Right? We get one life to do this, and we can do it big and make a big impact. So thank you, Beth. Love you so much, girl. All right, you guys, we're almost there. Hang in. We've got some good stuff coming. All right, so we've got Dwayne McCarthy coming up. All right, we got a male in the house. Here we go. He looks like he's, oh, there we go. All right, Dwayne, where are you tuning in from? Oh, wait, you're muted. Can you unmute?
I believe I just did. Okay. Well, I am calling in from Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania.
PA. Yeah. I love it. So how many years in the
Okay.
business, Dwayne?
Well, let's just say a quick 30. How about that?
All right, 30's good. I'm going to add it on. I'm adding this up, y'all. Okay. So
I'm gonna
Dwayne,
say-
I got you a question. Oh, you want to say something? Go
I
ahead.
just want to say that, you know, half of my lifetime I've spent in this business. So anybody that's a mathematician out there could probably do the math real quick and figure out how old I am today. But I was 31 years old when I started with this company.
Amazing.
There you go.
Amazing.
Okay.
Again, there's that longevity. If
Right.
we seeing a theme here, I'm seeing my future right before my eyes. We can do this, y'all. All right, here we go. Dwayne, what keeps you excited about this opportunity? Because that's truly what it is. And, you know, as you've been through this business for all these years, how are you staying relevant, you know, in the community and the greater world of inspiring healthy living? And do you have a vision for, you know, your future with our company?
Okay, well, there's a mouthful, but I think I
Yeah.
can put that pretty much in a nice tight ball. You know, the interesting thing about the excitement about our business, naturally, we've heard so many amazing thoughts and ideas tonight. And, you know, I myself, I was 31 years old. I was the breadwinner with my family. I'm a father of 7 children, now 16 grandchildren, lots of responsibility. You know, I didn't have a chance to think about failure. I thought about, wow, if I get half as excited as about the people around me about what this opportunity could be, you know, this could be a life changer for me and of course my family. Enough people around me believed in me in those early days. We worked real hard. And I often reflect back and think how gifted I was and how fortunate I was. Somebody actually reached out to me and offered this opportunity to me. So that excitement I bring into everything I do today. There's a baseball jersey hanging behind me here. It's a catcher from the Philadelphia Phillies. You gotta love them. But you know, I still play competitive baseball. I'm a catcher, and you know, I get out there like a 12-year-old, excited about the opportunity to be playing at that level at my age. So, you know, I just feel very fortunate in that regard, and I carry that over into my business. And I've done that in everything I do in life. And my children once in a while say, "Dad, you just got to chill a bit." Well, somebody figured out how to do that, and you let me know. But in the meantime, you know, the irony of being relevant today in our business is pretty interesting because, you know, when you've been around as long as I have, Courtney, with this company, we've seen a lot of change. And if I didn't evolve and change through those, you know, product introductions and through the whole process, look at our marketing plan has recently, you know, gone through a change. So we evolve and we get better and we figure things out. We create, you know, new opportunities for ourselves because of the evolvement of our business. And that's how you remain relevant. You can't stay stuck. You can't be doing the same things you did. Hey, you know, if I did the same things I was doing 20 years ago, recruiting from the newspaper and doing different things like that, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I think that's really important that we really, you know, understand where we are in today's marketplace, how we can impact the people around us and to stay relevant in their lives as well as our own. And in just, you know, sort of in closing about the vision of where I am, you know, this is an amazing opportunity. We've heard it over and over again here tonight. You know, I never saw myself, you know, really as a national marketing director in the early days. I never thought it was possible. I guess I always thought that was for other people that truly made a commitment. And some things changed for me in those early days. And I got really committed to the company and to the business. And we took business around the world and we were very fortunate. And it just inspired me. Now it's my turn to give that opportunity to other people. And, you know, it's interesting when you've been here 30 years, so many friendships you developed, and the culture of our company and, you know, being at home office and being part of the fabric of where we are today. It continues to say, hey, I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm making a huge impact on families and lives around me. A couple of my girls are involved in the business. You know, we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And I think that's what continues to see, you know, give me the vision of where I want to be with this. I figure, you know, I spent 30 years here. I could probably do another 30. So I'm ready. Look out. Here we go.
You got this. You got this. Do you know what you just described to me with you're talking about our community and all, is it feels like home,
Sure.
right? It just feels like home. And I love what you just described. You know, it's up to us to stay active in life and stay excited about living, right? There is no need to slow down. It's time to ramp up living and life. Nowhere does it say you should sit down and do nothing, right? We have to keep living in order to have that life within us. And I think that we're inspired to do that every day in this company, with this product, with this community, with this business. all of it wrapped up in a big red bow. So Dwayne, thank you so much. And I'm excited to take the next 30 years with you. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. All right, y'all. So we have got the Maura Daniels up next. Maura, beautiful. How are you, sweet friend?
Good, sweet friend.
Good. All right. So where are you tuning in from?
Essex, Connecticut.
Yes, you are. And how many years with the company?
It will be 18 years in the beginning of September.
Woo! Are y'all sweating with all these years? I am sweating. This is amazing. I love it. Okay, here we go. Your question is, how do you as a top leader create fun in your business and for your team? Because let's face it, we're all here for the fun. Share with us. Give us your wisdom.
Well, it's funny, Courtney, because when I started this business, I can be an intense person. I'm passionate, I'm intense. And all I was focused on was going from promotion to promotion. And I got to sales coordinator in 4 months, and I realized I didn't have any fun and my team wasn't having any fun. So I had to do a complete mind shift. So I started to spotlight my team, and I wanted to help them step into leadership and their personal growth. So I realized that recognition and praise were the photosynthesis that people need to produce their desired results and reach their goals. So I made everything we did as a team, as much as I could, enjoyable. I love our team dinners, especially at conference. We recognize and appreciate everybody's talents and gifts. Sometimes we'd have a surprise guest, and I always had a theme and a message at these events, but mostly fun. I also have recently incorporated something called this, you talked about it actually, Courtney, a superpower spotlight, where I encourage my teammates to volunteer to share their superpower so that they can be highlighted, they can earn and grow confidence, they can develop their speaking skills, they can hone their preparation skills. And so far, we've had some incredible trainings, and I'm so proud of the leaders that have stepped up. I often go to my leaders to get some fun ideas, and we've really had some amazing ideas. One was we wrote our fears on a balsam shingle, and we could karate chop it with our hand, and it didn't even hurt our hand. But what we did was we broke that fear. We broke away from that fear. We've also taken Chinese sky lanterns, and we've written our dreams on them and then sent them up into the sky, knowing that they are reaching the heavens and our thoughts and prayers and intentions will be answered. We begin each of our weekly team meetings with a meditation, and that was actually inspired by Cheryl, because she asked Dr. Tamara Sachs and I to do a meditation for her at one of our conferences with her NMDs, and I took it over and brought that into my team. And that's been extremely powerful because it kind of gets us set for brainstorming, and we spark off each other. And I reward, positive mindset and true authentic self. And we also, I reward people for taking action, and I usually give them a Juice Plus Promotions gift card. We also have a t-shirt that we just came up with. That is inspire dreams and making a difference, because our team is Team Shooting Stars. So we're doing fun things like that. We're nurturing strength. We're rewarding activity, but mostly we're having fun, and we're sponsoring great events for our customers on our private Facebook page, and just laughing. I'm very blessed because I have an incredible team, and I have incredible friends in this business, and they're my family. So thanks, Gord.
Love it. Oh my gosh, Maura, thank you so much. So, I heard something and it really jumped out at me, especially over the last year or so that we've had, is that people in the world that's so busy with so much uncertainty and even some turmoil, people want to have their voice heard. And you're doing that through that recognition, and that brings the fun and excitement and really the community, which is such a beautiful thing. So thank you so much for the ideas, because the Chinese sky lanterns, I would love to do that. That sounds so amazing, writing those dreams down and letting them rise up. All right, you guys. So Maura, thank you. We're going to go to our very last one, and we just have a little bit left. You guys are awesome. Thank you for staying in. We're 434 strong. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. I'm telling you, you're going to want to hear this. So we have our very own Cheryl Cortese. Cheryl, where are you tuning in from tonight?
Well, I'm basically from New Orleans, Louisiana, but today it's via Los Angeles. I live between the two because I have a grandson here, and we all know grandbabies rule, or grandchildren, I should say.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay. So Cheryl, how many years now in the business?
Well, to be exact, because people are being exact tonight,
Yes.
it's 33 3/4 years. So
All right.
34 in
that.
January.
I got that 0.75. We're on it. We're on it. Okay, Cheryl. So I've got your question. This is our last question.
You have a
tonight.
question for me? Okay.
Yes, I do have a question for you. I hope you don't mind, because your wisdom is an amazing thing. We really, really appreciate it. So what do you do to create momentum in your business?
Well, momentum is an elusive word, and I'll speak to that. First, I want to say, though, I want to tell Dwayne that I'm up for 30 years and not 34. And I really identify with everything that's been said tonight. So beautifully done. And I have to say, Cindy saying that when she first started her business, it was just a roller coaster, the up and down. And certainly the roller coaster for me was one that was a ride. I started this, as I said earlier, at a very financially desperate time, a very difficult time in my life. My sponsor, Jeff Roberti, was right there for the first 2 weeks, and we were going to run. I really, life was just a struggle. You know me, I'm not one of those people that cry very often. Actually, in the beginning, there were 2 times that I can remember crying. One was, he was telling me I was in business for myself. I'd always been a teacher. They gave me a salary every month. And the first time I cried, he said, you have to figure out and pay your own taxes. And that made me cry. Okay, because first of all, I didn't know how to figure out my taxes. And he said, don't worry, you can hire accountants for that. So that felt a little better. The second time I cried was, well, should start with this, is that we took off like crazy. I mean, it was amazing. It was exhilarating. It was exciting. We brought on a big team right away. And that felt like, wow, we're off to the races, and it's going to be nothing but, rainbows and fireworks from now on. Well, about 3 months in, half of that team just totally fell apart. And that was the second time I cried. And I thought, I can't do this. I don't know if I can. I mean, it just seemed like it all came together, and then half of it disappeared. He said, look, we know what we're doing. If we got those, we can get some more. And so, we did that. We consistently, every day, there was a daily method of operation. And I guess about 2 years in, I'd never really heard the word momentum or tried to apply it to my business. I didn't know what this kind of business was about. And so that word didn't really come up. And about 18 months, 2 years, about in there, the business grew. It became very solid. And he looked at me one day and he said, you know why it's successful? And I said, no. He said, you never put your momentum down. And I said, well, you better tell me what that is, because I don't want to put it down by accident. And so, and that was my first beginning to understand momentum. He says, well, you had a really strong, consistent daily method of operation, and there was never a break in that activity. And as I look back on it, that really has been the huge strength as far as my business, is that consistency of activity. So if we look at the word momentum, which again, it's hard to say, what is the definition of a word like momentum? You know it when you see it or feel it or you're part of it, but how do you define it? And if you were to go to the dictionary for it, it would say a strength or force gained by motion. Well, motion, of course, is activity. So activity is the basis of the foundation of momentum. And if you look around and you look at our business over all the years, and you see some people and they look like, wow, they just grew up and that was effortless. And other people, it seems to be such a struggle. But really, the difference is momentum, because momentum is the skill that's the foundation to it all. And anyone can develop a skill, and anyone can learn to create momentum. So the first step in establishing momentum is your commitment to activity on a daily basis. The commitment is a commitment you make to yourself. It's not made to your upline or the company or anything else. It's the standard for which you will hold yourself accountable. What is going to be your plan? It's your chosen strategy. So you choose that strategy, that daily method of operation, and then it's your total commitment to that activity ongoing, no matter what happens. There have been times when, everything was flying along in an amazing way. And there have been times when there have been challenges from a company standpoint or a frustration standpoint, or whatever. It might be a personal, it might be life getting in the way, as we say. But I've never veered from that daily method of operation, that chosen strategy, that activity that's in place. And your daily method of operation, the activity that you're going to employ, you can employ yourself at the highest level you choose to be paid. But that activity is really what sets you apart as you grow your business, if it's consistent. And, our business is one that we hear it all the time. It's simple. It's not necessarily easy, because you have to stay disciplined. And if you stay disciplined, it's going to pay. And I really like the phrase too, that repetition ensures integration. If you repeat the activity over and over and over, you get to where it becomes intrinsic. It becomes part of you. I can't imagine Cindy Gompers leaving the house without that information that she's going to share with somebody, that, being dressed for success. All of you, as I look over the years, you have developed consistent part of who and what you are from a business standpoint. And that's really, I think, the foundation, because once momentum happens, it has a life of its own. It carries itself. If I look at our business today, I'm crying about having to figure out how to pay taxes or that half my organization fell away early on. But today, as an organization, we as a team, you, I, all of the people in your organizations, as a whole group, we market well over $10 million worth of Juice Plus every month. That is your story. That is our story. That's who we are, and that's growing, and that's continuing to grow. And that is what you call momentum. It's when you have that ongoing all the time, and it begins to carry itself. So hopefully that answered the question, or at least touched on it. And
I just want to say this: 225 years of experience we heard tonight.
Wow.
That's a lot of experience. Amazing. All right, I'm out.
I think what it's going to be in another 30 years.
I know, right?
Wayne and I are going to tell you about it, okay, in the next 30 years. So, okay, now continuing the program. And as we said, we're getting close here to the finish line, I guess you would say. And I'm going to introduce to you, I want to get to this right quick. I wanted the bio for Amanda Wright. Amanda is an IMD, and she's going to interview some folks tonight. So let me just give you a little background. I can get this to work. Tell you a little bit about Amanda. There she is. She is an IMD. She loves helping people to be the best version of themselves. She's always been fascinated with healthy living and spent the first part of her professional career working as a physical therapist. And in 2013, Amanda was introduced to Juice Plus when her little boys were sick more often than she liked for them to be. The convenience and simplicity of the products made sense. She said yes to the Juice Plus franchise because she was looking for inspiration and a change professionally. And I'm just going to say this about her, is that she built a national marketing director position from Uganda, which is a country in which we do not even do business. Okay, so she reached out across the world and developed through technology and social media. She's married to her adventure partner, John. They have 2 boys, Jake and Corson. They've traveled around the world. They returned to the US in 2018. And Amanda and her family now live in Denver, Colorado. So she's going to introduce and give a few, they're going to give a few highlights tonight. I'm just going to share these 3 or 4 people with you. They're going to talk about the fact that success leaves clues and tips for our summer blitz and beyond. She is going to interview Rita Menario, who's a national marketing director, Christy Kuhl, who's a senior sales coordinator, and Kat Tenningberg, who's a qualifying national marketing director. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you to Courtney and all the national marketing directors that we heard from tonight. Wow, I am filled up. I think this call was a 10 out of 10 already, but we're excited to dig in and share a little bit about this blitz that's going on this summer. So thank you for staying on the call, staying engaged and committed to yourself and your business. We're really thrilled to be able to share with you. So if you have joined us during the blitz, and the blitz we're talking about is this special promotion that our company has really gifted us this summer to offer our franchise for free. So if you joined us during this time, if you could just go in the chat and let us know that you joined us, we can say hi to you. That would be great. And we are so thankful to all of our teammates that have joined us during this time. And if you have, yay, there we go. I want a couple people who have, okay, Kat, we're trying to get on. And I want to know if I joined during the blitz. Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Now we got a couple people. So welcome to those of you that joined. So did anyone start the blitz off like guns blazing in June 1st saying, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. And now it's what, July 26th? And you've already fired yourself. Has anyone done that? Has anyone maybe hasn't reached their goals yet or set these big goals and hasn't happened yet? Yep, I see a few head nods. Yeah, so today is the day to rehire yourself. We get to do that in this business, right? We get to rehire ourselves. And I want to introduce you to 3 women who are just really playing full out during this time. And we know our business runs in seasons. And if it's not your season, that's okay. But if it is, we have lots of time left, guys. It's only the end of July. We have a full month. You know, that's one of my mantras if you've heard me speak before. We have lots of time. We have a whole month. And then this week to continue to invite into our business and offer that opportunity. So we're excited to share some of our top tips. So I have 3 ladies, Christy Kuhl, who she just casually mentioned, I think I brought on 16 new frontline last month alone, which is pretty amazing. So we're going to dig into some of her top tips. Rita Manarino, who became a new NMD from Canada just last month. So you'll definitely want to hear from her. And then Kat is she's a team builder. She is an amazing QNMD on the heels of NMD, and we want to hear from her as well. So we've got lots of different kinds of experience. I've been in the business for, it'll be 8 years next month, and then they're combined, they can tell you how long. So ladies, introduce yourselves. Christy, you can go first. Where are you from? How long have you been in the business? And your brief business story.
Yeah, thank you so much, ladies, for having me. I first and foremost just have to thank Cheryl for always pulling us together. Courtney Shaw, you are a master moderator. Thank you for everything that you do. And of course, you, Amanda, and my fellow sisters on here. My name's Christy Kuhl. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I grew up in the Midwest. I was introduced to the company 3 years ago and started taking the product. And I told Lauren LaHave, like, there's one issue when she offered me the business. I said, I really don't care for those type of people. You know, I was in medical device sales and leadership for 15 years. And every time somebody approached me with a company, with a product like this, it just didn't feel right. And so, but the joke was on me because I went to GoPro and I went to the Juice Plus conference and I looked around and I saw what type of success they were having. And I knew I had to be part of it. So I was the quintessential corporate America executive and leader that had a lot of success without fulfillment. And that's what drew me to this company. Again, I was introduced to the product 3 years ago in the business, and I've been intentionally working it for the past 2 years.
Love it. Thank you, Christy. Rita, I'll go right to you. Just quickly, your business story.
Thanks. Yes, so I am a mom of two. I'm a nurse practitioner as well, and I was introduced to Juice Plus 3.5 years ago, almost to the day. And you know, this just made sense to me from a product perspective. As a medical provider, the products made sense. The research was amazing, and I was time poor. I was exhausted. I was tired of feeling sick and tired of missing out on things with my family. So I'm one of those people who, you know, wasn't really looking for an income per se, but I was definitely looking to buy back some time in my life. And this literally was the answers to my prayers. So I'm so grateful that I was introduced and came across Juice Plus in this opportunity.
Yay. Thank you, Rita. Kat?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here today. I feel honored to be on this panel with you guys. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm originally from Estonia. We're not available in Estonia, newsflash, but I live in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. I joined this mission 4 years ago. And at that time, I was in a really dark and dire place. I was working 3 jobs, 50 to 60 hours a week. And just like Rita, I was looking to buy time because I had moved to Canada to explore this country. Yet there I was, just working and barely making enough money to afford my lifestyle in this beautiful mountain town. And it wasn't easy for me to build this business because, like I said, my network is in a country where we're not available. So I had to really lean in and learn the skills and become a professional straight away. But this business has been so much to me. It has enabled me to create the lifestyle of my dreams. It is my plan A. Me and my husband have a plan that this is what we do for the rest of our lives. I get to create my own schedule, and I'm a stay-at-home dog mom, as I like to say, and living the mountain life dream. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, guys. And I hope that you're, you know, we always say we're professional storytellers, right? So I'm hoping that you're hearing these stories and thinking of people that you know that may have the same pain points, and keep these stories in your back. We can also call it a 90-day game plan or a game run, where you have 90 days to really focus on your business. And I know we've each chosen a little bit different technique of what we're focusing on. So Christy, go ahead and let us know what you and your team have been focused on.
Yeah. So, you know, it's interesting because timing is everything. And some people have mentioned that on this call already, but it's so critically important to remember that timing is everything. I tried in my mind to leave corporate America 3 times, and I just didn't have the courage. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't have enough pain in my life to make the jump. Lauren Lahab just happened to be there the 3rd and final time that I tried and was successful in leaving corporate America. And so when this blitz came along, you know, it's so important to have, you know, when you want to reach out to people and you want to follow up with people and you're like, okay, how am I going to word the typical, hey, how's things going? How's your summer? Whatever. Well, now we have a new offer, a new opportunity to reach back out to people. And I'm not about giving away free things. I think that the pain point has to be there and the why has to be there. And I know Kat and Rita are going to dive in to that, but this was the first step, and it was the reason. It gave me a reason to reach out to people and re-engage and reconnect and just share with them an update in terms of what the company's doing.
Love that. Finding a way to stay connected is so important, and then putting it back in front of them, and you never know the timing. So such great advice, Christy. And Rita, what are you and your team focused on?
Thanks, Amanda. You know, we're focused on ultimately continuing to do what we do best, create conversations, move strangers to friends and friends to family. And so we use and teach the funnel. And so it really boils down to, you know, whether it's cold market or warm market, you're creating conversations and finding out where people's pain point is. So you can use the algorithm, Lord, Ford, Frog, whatever you're using. Ultimately, in order for this to resonate with people, you want to find out where their pain point is. And so using this funnel, we help our team to move through this as they're creating conversations with people. So if you're starting with cold market, obviously you want to add them as a friend. You're using social media, you're using, you know, creating conversations, using questions. You want to be the master asker, be interested more than interesting, and find out where their pain is and what their why is. Why would they want to take a look at something like this? And then once you know their why, you're inviting them to take a look. Then we get to use tools to show them and really showcase what we're about. And this is where people fall in love with our community, with our products. And we get to people who, just like me, are praying for something, whether they're praying for better health, whether they're praying for more energy, whether they're praying for more time, and to be able to have time freedom. Everybody's looking for something, truthfully. And it's just a matter of finding out what that person is looking for so that you can show them how this is the answer to their pain point in their life. And then, following up with that person once you've used the tools to share it with them. And we really encourage our team to use the three-way. It's, third-party validation. You are training prospective team already to follow the system. You're using the system, they're using the system, and you're really answering a really important question that people have when they're considering this. Can I do this, and am I going to have help? And so automatically you're showing them you're not going to be alone. You are going to have the support. And then it really just becomes, whether this fits for them at that moment or not. And so, I have team who have decided to join me after a year and a half, 2 years, even 3 years. It's really about being authentic and just creating conversations, turning strangers into friends and friends into family.
Love it. That word authentic has come up a couple times tonight. That's so great. And when you're authentically connected with someone and you're sharing something from the heart, you don't feel like you're spamming. You're not just pushing something on them. I think that's such a common thing that we hear is I don't want to feel like I'm just sending out messages. And so when you feel that connection with someone and you've listened to them, then you're that problem solver. So I love that, Rita, just bringing it back to being finding out their why. So love it. All right, Kat, what are you guys focused on over there in Canada?
Same as what the lady said before, but what I really teach my team is to find the diamonds, like find the runners in your team, because especially with the splits that we have going on, people don't have skin in the game. When so many people are just going to join up because, oh, it's free, I might as well sign up, but they don't actually have an intention to do the business. They secretly hope that it's a lottery ticket that is going to make them a millionaire, but we all know that that's not how it goes. So I teach my team to really find the people to run with. And I always say the 3 things that I've learned from Mr. Eric Worre: you need to be willing, coachable, and hungry. So really determining whether people are that by giving them assignments. If they do their assignments, you know that they are willing, coachable, and hungry. If they're not, you might need to drop to their level and adjust your assignments. But then the other thing is you got to remember, in this business, the people that joined, we have the 80-15-5 rule. So out of 100 people who are going to say yes to this business, 80 of them are going to maybe sign up 1 to 3 people as a customer over the span of their lifetime. 80 out of 100. We need to love these people. They're still important. They're still part of our organization. But then you need to find the 15%, the ones that want to go to QSC and beyond. They will bring on more team members. They're going to bring up to 9 people in their lifetime, and they're excited, and you want to keep them close. But ultimately, you want to find your 5 or 2%, depending on which kind of model you look at, the people that are going to bring on more than 10 people throughout their lifetime. These are your NMDs, your IMDs. These are the people that you want to run with. They're your business besties. So really just figuring out and reminding yourself that if you're bringing on 10 people this summer with this blitz, 8 of them are going to do close to nothing. And that's okay. That is okay. Because maybe their goal is to simply get the products cheaper. And there is nothing wrong with that. So really just determining who to run with, who to just love on as a fancy customer, and where to put your time.
Love it. Such important advice. And if you're brand new, that advice is just gold, because you really do want to meet people where they're at and not be, pushy, but also just create that vision for them of what it could be, but absolutely meeting them where they're at. So love that, Kat. We're going to skip to the last question, ladies, just for time. I want you to talk to the people that are on the call right now that maybe they set some goals and they haven't.
Hang on, she'll come back.
How to finish out this last month. So what advice would you give to them? Christy? Oh, you're muted, Christy.
Sorry about that. Network marketing's been around for a long time, and so has Juice Plus. And so the beautiful thing is that success leaves clues. So if you don't know what to do, if you've gotten frustrated, go to your upline and have a conversation with your upline, and it'll give you an assignment to start to get the wheels turning and to get you back in the game. You know, there's a process that works, and plugging into calls like this is part of the process, and building for events like this is part of the process, and having three-way calls is part of the process, and posting on social media is part of the process. So if you're stuck, if you're confused, just trust the process and go to your upline NMD and ask them what it is that you should do next.
Love it. Rita, what advice would you give?
You know, the biggest advice that I can give is, you know, one, be genuine, be authentic, and really just take a look at why you're doing this business and what it is that you want. And if you're not getting the results that you're looking for right now, then just really think about what can you do a little bit differently, because, you know, this is our comfort zone. Inside that comfort zone, we're nice and cozy, but we're not learning, we're not growing. And so most often it means that you need to stretch yourself, lean into the, you know, what you're afraid of, and step outside of your comfort zone so that you can learn and grow. And that might be ask yourself some really hard questions. Look at why you're doing this. You know, reach up to your upline, as Christy mentioned. Don't sit in this alone. There are people here to help you. But often it's just tweaking something a little in what you're doing every day to start gaining some traction.
Love it. Kat, last words of wisdom?
Oh, I can't wait to finish this off. Get out of your head and get into your heart. If you feel like you haven't had the results yet and you're too afraid to reach out to the next person to share our business or our products with them, think about the small wins you've had from this business. Maybe you are not yet where you wanted to be financially, but what has this business given you? Are you healthier than you were before? Do you have more community? Are you finally heard? Did you find your community? And now think about those things, and who else do you know who desperately needs that in their life? Because there's someone out there who is praying for what we have, and they just don't know about it because you care too much about yourself than you care about them.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I'll just leave with my last words of wisdom. And that would be just to remember about the planting of the seeds. And just because stay in action, just because you maybe haven't had the success quote that you thought you've had, maybe have had already this summer, it doesn't mean that you're not doing the work that'll show up in your paycheck 6 months from now. So keep going, stay in line, keep the activity high, use the momentum from tonight, use all this good energy, you know, to get to work later tonight and tomorrow, because, you know, we know there's a delay in our business, and that's such an important concept, and one that I am so glad that I learned early on. So thank you, Cheryl. I think that's it for us. We're going to pass it on to you.
Thank you all so much. Beautifully done. Thank you. Thank you. And really tonight, as you've been listening, first of all, it was a joy to have all of you on here with us, connected. That's one of the great things about this organization is we all are committed to one another. And hopefully you've all seen and noticed that, you know, people come to us from all walks of life, from every direction. And I can assure you, it's what, you know, Kat was saying, there are people out there who are waiting. They don't know this is the answer for them. I didn't know it was the answer for me. I didn't know it was going to provide the life that it's provided, the joy, as I said, the emotional revenue, the security, the financial abundance, but mainly the relationships and the friends. And so, you know, there'll be people who will hear about this from you or someone else, who will be leadership that will, you know, take our company on to greater levels and continue to take it on to greater levels than we've ever seen before. So know that they're waiting for someone. And, you know, this is something that Jeff Roberti told me years ago when I think it was the first week or two we started, and I was like so unsure of myself. And he said, Cheryl, you just sit down and tell people I'm good at this and I can make you good at it too. And I thought, boy, I better get good fast because I don't want to tell them a story. Okay. And so get that feeling, you know, that you're good at this and the people behind you are good at it and the people behind them are good at it. We bring that strength to people in a world today where strength and confidence and assurance and connection is so vitally needed. Also, I heard Beth Meyer say something recently, and I thought it was beautiful. was that there is a place for you at our table, and there's a place for everyone at our table. As a company and as a community, we have a very large table. And so we invite you, and we invite you to invite others to, come home to us, let us be the support and the guidance, and share with you what we've learned so that we can empower and embody other people to do it for themselves. So join us, and we really invite you to be part of our mission and part of our dream. So thank you to everyone that was on tonight. It's been a total joy, and it's what inspires me. It inspires me to see everybody else excited and inspired and, wanting to be part of the whole. So good night. Good night to everyone. Thanks to Courtney. You did a great job. Amanda, all of you who spoke tonight, you were amazing, and we love you. So good night to everyone who joined us this evening, and we'll see you soon. Hear you next Monday night. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Cheryl.